What is going on, guys? We are back for another DSP video, and today he talks about the Dr. Disrespect situation, makes it all about himself, brings up Panda, and my god, he goes all over the place, talking out of both sides of his mouth. And this also gives you a preview of DS Politics, which is probably going to come next year, because every year he introduces a new channel. First, it was DSP Reacts, which was rebranded. DSP Throwback this year, which was rebranded. And then next year, he's going to rebrand a channel probably for DS Politics. So first off, we have this from Poem Josh. Starts out condemning the person, saying nobody should support him. He sees chat isn't buying it. Change his stance in how you should support the person. He's all over the place. Yeah, DSP is going to ride that fence for a very long time. See what the majority of people say, and then take their opinion as his opinion. Then remember, DSP is not about drama. He doesn't talk about drama. He doesn't get pulled into it. And he tells people, if you want drama, go to someone else's chat, because he doesn't deal in drama. And we have this from ThraxJ. Hey dumb fuck DSP. I thought you were avoiding all drama. Why are you talking about Dr. Disrespect then? Do you suffer from memory loss? You're a fucking dumbass and hypocrite. All you do is contradict yourself on a daily basis. Give up YouTube, go get a job.
I just can't be involved in drama. There's too much toxic shit on the internet trying to suck me in, right? And I just can't be sucked into one of these black holes and end up in another rigmarole like I was last. Finally, in its entirety, the truth about the Dr. Disrespect situation has hit the internet straight from the horse's mouth. All right? Let's talk a little bit about what's going on here. I mean, there's always been evidence that this guy does bad things, but people seem to like him more. And that's what I don't understand. The guy is someone who dresses up like a knockoff G.I. Joe character. He acts a character on camera like a Muppet. People like him for that, and that's okay if you like it, but you understand this is all he does. This is his content. You think he's some kind of a fucking hero, a pariah? Like, what are you talking about?
Of course, DSP is the digital reverse whore. People pay him to put more clothes on. And that's his whole brand, that's his whole gimmick. It's about begging for money to pay his bills, dude. Go for the gunners, go for the hat, go for the vest. Beyond that, there's nothing. There's no substance in the quality of your videos, Phil. And before we get into actually what he said about Dr. Disrespect, we got King Bean. DSP standing on his moral high horse, commentating on Dr. Disrespect, and he's going in, calling him a Muppet and such. But DSP, what about DERICH? A lot of evidence is out there about him. To quote Pig Roach, DERICH has a weird case. Why is he still around? Of course, with Dr. Disrespect messaging a minor through DMs, it brought up a lot of parallels with Phil, and Phil addressed this, talking about Panda. We have this from Meerkat. Dave definitely not the guy to talk about grooming. When he dated a girl who was of a questionable mental and physical age, and married a trailer park raccoon who would have sucked anyone's dick as long as they had access to a refrigerator. Then DSP went on to say, I didn't know of my ex's existence until she was of legal age. DSP, that totally doesn't make you sound creepy at all, man. And then Phil Callens adds on to that with a DSP quote, she messaged me first. Leanna said herself that after she sent one DM, he started messaging her relentlessly. Phil, you're the adult in this situation. You sound like all those people on To Catch a Predator who says, oh, they trapped me. She talked to me first. Like, no, Phil, you're the adult. Get your head out of your ass. Then DSP went on to say that there was factual proof of Panda being 18.
This fucking person, this idiotic troll, keeps fucking gifting fake memberships, accusing me of being a pedophile. My ex-girlfriend was 18 when she messaged me. I never even spoke to her or knew of her existence on planet Earth until she was of legal age. You incredibly stupid mouth drooler. Get the fuck off my planet. Go to Mars. Go burn up. Leave us alone, you fucking idiots. People are just so dumb. And by the way, that's been factually proven for years and years.
And DSP's way to debunk anything and to factually prove it is to say it didn't happen. That is not factually proven, Phil. And then we have this here. DSP is throwing stones from a glass house.
New Ride Artist did a 55-bit share and said, how did I and Panda Lee first meet? We first talked, she messaged me on YouTube. And we talked for a couple months. And then she eventually visited me, and that's the story. It's not a big one.
Then we have this from Gamerface Gaming. DSP Gaming is a no drama zone unless you are someone I have a grudge on. Now, Panda Lee, make sure you deleted all of our DMs/emails and all that jazz. I wouldn't like this to come back and bite me in the future, from the King of Hate to the Dr. Disrespect. Now get ready for something extremely dumb here, even for Phil standards. We have Otter. DSP's whole argument in not supporting Dr. D anymore. He's a terrible person. Going over the same points such as him cheating on his wife, etc. Phil, you constantly been racist and toxic, yet you still expect people to support you. And then Phil, the big brain lawyer, says this. Why didn't Twitch expose all of this years ago? Of course, there was legal issues, there was gag orders, people couldn't talk about it. The only reason Dr. Disrespect is talking about it now is because one of the clauses in a gag order is that if Twitch ever mentions something, he can freely and legally talk about it after that, because it voids the whole gag order. Poems Josh. Phil is an actual fucking idiot. This is the guy who's sitting here saying he's educating you on this topic, and he's asking his chat these questions. Then we have Good Chemicals. DSP, who started a relationship with a minor via direct messaging online, says that what Dr. Disrespect allegedly did, sexing a minor, is one of the most repulsive things anyone can do. Then we got Joey at the bottom. Even if Panda was legal when they first started talking, she was like 18 and he was 30. That's still creepy. He has no excuse. And then get ready for a mind-numbing, dumb statement from Phil. David Davidson. According to Phil, if you're okay with Dr. Disrespect cheating on his wife and filming in a bathroom, you should be okay with him having inappropriate conversations with a minor. His brain is so extreme pilled, he needs to seek help. Then we got Theo. DSP is more upset that Dr. Disrespect cheated on his wife than sexting a minor. This is the hang up DSP has over this. Sure, it's shitty to cheat on your wife, but I think sexting a minor is probably a bigger problem. DSP, just move on. And then he was talking about evidence for Dr. Disrespect. DSP thinks there has to be a blatant evidence on the internet of why Dr. Disrespect was banned. Talking about Twitch. Phil, you're unwilling to provide evidence you aren't. Down from the rafters. That you didn't commit tax and bankruptcy fraud. That you don't scam your users. Rules for thee, not for we. And of course, with Phil, every time his story changes, even the little details. If you keep listening to this podcast, you get to hear some funny things. Towards the start, he lists the number of times he believed Dr. Disrespect did something bad. 3. Then it becomes 5. Then 9. Then 12. A really funny way of moving on to extremes with this guy. And then Dr. Disrespect said he's going to take some time off and move away from streaming for a little bit. David Davidson. Phil's under the impression that Dr. Disrespect should not take time off from all of this. Most E-celebs do this when things happen, Phil. If you keep putting out content and people hate you, it'll hurt your image way more than if you wait it out. And Poems adds on to that. It shows how spiteful Phil really is. He wants him to keep streaming out of sticking it to the haters. He doesn't even consider the mental and emotional toll, or any of the legal issues that will be happening right now between sponsors. And his chat was pushing back on him. And remember, at this point, he was defending him, but he wasn't. And he wanted evidence over all this minor stuff. And he went and says, no, I'm not defending a pedophile. So you just called Dr. Disrespect a pedophile, but you're also defending him. What does that say about you, Phil? And then DSP has a hypocrite moment. He always has them. Because remember, he always says, I should not be judged for my past. What happened in the past is the past. Nobody should cancel me and blah blah blah. So Poem says this. Of everything said today, the one takeback I want people to remember. Phil believes people should be held accountable in current day for actions of their past self. Then we got Theo. DSP. Dudes, Dr. Dis got the settlement, which means Twitch would have lost, so they paid Doc, man. DSP's chat. You just said Doc won the lawsuit. DSP. He didn't win, morons. Shut up, you don't know how the legal system works, do you? You guys must be dumb. And then Otter put this out. Phil doesn't know the difference between Roman Polanski and Woody Allen. And then we have a quote of DSP talking about Woody Allen. I did not have this on my 2024 bingo card, but he also messes it up too. Wasn't Woody Allen a guy who dated a daughter of someone who was underage, then became of age? DSP, Woody Allen married his stepdaughter. It's more creepy and fucked up than you remember. Dude, it's really fucked up. It's very clear he's just now talking about himself, and he goes on to say, you need to support bad people who are losing sponsors because they will need it. Remember before, he called Dr. Disrespect a muppet and a pedophile. Now he's saying you have to support them because they're losing sponsors, even though they're bad people. And then Phil, in his dumbass ways, does not understand how being a pedo is different from adultery or someone like Will Smith smacking Chris Rock. And then he couldn't stop there. He says, what about Kevin Spacey? What about Mel Gibson? These are two people and subjects you probably should steer clear of, Phil, especially the latter for you. Yeah, Mel Gibson with his Jew comments. And then DSP told Dr. Disrespect, keep streaming and tell the haters, fuck this nonsense. And Poems add this on, Philip, you're one of his haters. And then DSP always takes things literally. DSP doesn't get that Dr. Disrespect saying he's going on a vacation doesn't necessarily mean he's going to Hawaii. It probably means he's taking a break. That we have King here. Even though Dr. Disrespect was sexting with minors, you should still watch him. You should still watch his content because it's separate from the character. Phil, stop talking. Yeah, he had this whole conversation where even though the person, guy, whatever the fuck his name is, was texting minors, that doesn't represent the artist. And you should still watch his streams, still give him money, because you have to separate the artist from the art. Which, Phil, if someone knows they're a pedophile, they're not going to support them. And then I never saw this coming either. DSP giving Dr. Disrespect advice on cutting back his lifestyle. Dr. Disrespect is going to have to cut down on his lifestyle because he's used to a level of luxury. Maybe, unlike you, Phil, he hasn't spunked millions away on nothing. Yeah, I gotta get those Hulk Hogan dick pics, dude. And then he went back to the separate the artist from the art and telling people to keep supporting Dr. Disrespect. Phil is defending Dr. Disrespect and telling people to keep watching him because it's just a character when he streams. You gotta understand that it's okay. He also defends a murderer because they happen to be famous. It's all really weird and not a good stance to take. Now keep in mind, he also defended incest last year and monetized 9/11. And then we see the reaction from his chat. So we have Sarah Barclay. DSP Gaming, I thought you said you weren't going to celebrate or revel in the downfall of others. Then we have Seven. Wasn't Panda underage, Phil? And then of course, we all knew it was going to go back to this. When you talk about Dr. Disrespect and you talk about Twitch, it always comes back of how Twitch mistreated Phil. Phil's discussion of Dr. Disrespect has already morphed into Phil's Twitch ban and how much less money he makes now. And then after that, how did DSP segue into the next segment? Go straight from drama into a bag. Never change, DSP. Never change. And then during the gameplay stream, he got this message. Message starts with, I just watched your pre-stream. DSP, watch the whole pre-stream. Poems Josh, they did, Phil. They're saying your whole discussion on it was all over the place, and at odds at whatever message you kept trying to make, it made no sense by the end.
I just watched your pre-stream. Are you saying to separate an artist from their bad behavior and watch Dr. Disrespect even though he cheats on his wife and is a pedo? No, watch the entire thing and you'll see what I was saying there. I was saying there are some people who do that. Like, for example, you know, a lot of people don't like Woody Allen. A lot of people don't like Roman Polanski. They say they've done heinous things, yet they're well-known, well-respected filmmakers as well. We saw Will Smith literally slap someone, a public assault on live TV. Millions of people saw it live, yet nothing was done about it whatsoever. He could just, it was a crime committed publicly on TV. He got away with it, right? So if you already knew that someone like that, that's heinous behavior, right? And then you continue to support it. I mean, we already knew Dr. Disrespect had done other awful things. So why then would this next thing be the next thing to turn it on for you? You know what I'm saying? So, no, I didn't say that at all, nor am I defending him whatsoever. Watch the whole podcast for the full story on there, okay? Because I basically talk all the angles. That's why I did it on the podcast, so I could play Elden Ring today and not have to fucking talk about it now. All right?
So let me get this straight, Phil. You said he does bad things in the past, so you shouldn't support him, but he continues to do bad stuff, so you should support him. That makes no sense, Phil. By the way, DS Politics is going to be straight up fire. I can't wait for that. And of course, someone had to do it. Just like Kendrick and Drake, we now have Phil with the sex offender tag over his house. And Titanium with the Kendrick lyrics about trying to strike a chord and it's probably A minor. Dents ain't like us, dents ain't like us, dents ain't like us. And then we see one of these super chats here. Phil Burnell likes I'm young, a factual observation. Been watching you since grade school. You're popular in my grade. My high school graduation is tomorrow. You should come scope out the talent, hint hint. And then of course they weren't done there. Phil Burnell likes I'm young, a factual observation, gifted 20 DSP Gaming memberships. If you notice, that's Chris Hansen in the thumbnail there. So my god, that was all over the place. What kind of blowback will he get from this? Probably none because no one cares about him. But anyways, if you guys like the video, click that like, share the video, leave a comment below, hit subscribe. Subscribe to my other channels on the details of the end cards. And as always, I love each and every one of you. Hope you're all safe, healthy, and happy. Peace and love.